is still unresolved, but Katharina Gaylor suggests a mixed usage of the stepped cisterns as both ritual baths and water storage. 63. According to the Israeli archaeologists Magen and Peleg, the clay found in the cisterns was used for pottery factory facilities. 64. The construction of the Qumran aqueduct that fed the cisterns and the baths can be seen as an important chronological marker. Although there are some disagreements in this area, Stacy, 2004, argues that it should be dated to around 95 to 90 BCE, which is during Dvořák's period. 65. Numismatic studies. Coins from Qumran are one of the most important groups of primary evidence from the ancient site. Much of what has been written on the chronology, the occupational periods and the history of Qumran is based on preliminary report and lecture by the original excavator, Roland Dvořák, in 1961, which was translated in 1973. 66. A tentative list of the Qumran bronze coins along with Roland Dvořák's field diary from excavations was published in 1994 in French, in German in 1996 and in English in 2003. 67. The first reconstruction of the Qumran bronze coinage, including a complete coin catalogue with updated and cross-referenced coin identifications, was done by Kenneth Lundqvist and Miller Lundqvist in 2005. 68. Also in 1955, 3 very important silver coin hoards were found at Qumran. The first lot of the Qumran silver coins was published by Marsha Sharabani in 1980. 69. The last 2 hoards located in Amman, Jordan, were republished by Kenneth Lundqvist in 2007. 70. The bronze coinage. Dvořák's excavations uncovered about 1,250 coins, 569 silver and 681 bronze coins, altogether from Qumran. Though today some Qumran coins have been lost, some lots mixed up, and records less accurate than ideal. There are a surprisingly high number of coins from the site. This means that the site was highly monetized in the Hellenistic and Roman periods, i.e. that the occupants of Qumran were not a community of poor and isolated people. That the flow of cash at Qumran may have been large in the 1st century CE is hardly surprising given the archaeological evidence of trade at Qumran in luxury goods such as glass, which is specifically dated to this period. The coin profile of Qumran shows that there do not appear to have been any major changes in the role of coins and money in the economic system at Qumran during any of the occupational periods from ca. 150 BCE to 73 CE. Worth noting here is that the amount of coins found at Qumran suggests, according to numismatic principles of loss and survival of ancient coins, that millions of bronze coins must have circulated at Qumran. The bronze coins identified from Qumran, some dating to the 2nd and 3rd years of the Jewish War, indicate that the site was still in use in 68 CE and only destroyed after 70, perhaps as late as 73. 71. 72. The coins from Qumran of this period end with a peculiar series of bronze coins minted in 72/73 at Ascalon, which sent auxiliary troops to assist the Roman army in the First Jewish-Roman War, 66-73. In 73 the Romans stormed the mountain fortress of Masada, which also was located on the western bank of Dead Sea. It is more than likely that Qumran was destroyed this same time, as the coin finds from Qumran end with the same peculiar bronze coins minted at Ascalon. The silver coinage. According to the publications prior to 2007, the most recent silver coin in the Qumran hoard, is a tetradrachm of Tyre from the year 9/8 BCE. 73. Lundqvist analysis of 2007. The publication of the bulk of the silver coins by K. Lundqvist, and his regional analysis, resulted, in 2007, in a new interpretations as to the importance, Chronology and significance of the coins. 74, 75. According to Longquist, the newly dated coins in the silver coin hoards give an earliest possible burial date for the coin hoards to 5 2/3 66 CE, based on an interpretation of the countermark. However, the geological and numismatic nature of the silver coin hoard burials may suggest that the coin hoards may have been buried in the early 3rd century. The final coin was minted in Rome between 206 and 210. During the reign of the Emperor Caracalla. The new suggestion made is that the silver coin hoards from Qumran may be connected to Roman military campaigns in the region, as these are widely attested in the early 3rd century CE. It is also quite possible that the silver was part of Roman army payments made to troops in a local garrison. According to Longquist, the technical evidence of the recording and documenting of the Qumran silver coin hoards in 2006-2007 showed that the coins came from lots, groups or batches of coins that originated in a few or one single large payment. This payment may have come from a mint, bank or an authority like the treasury of the Roman army. The new evidence refutes the possibility that the silver coins could have been collected from single individuals, for instance, as tax payments, or that Qumran could have been Argian or tax house. 76. The new 2007 analysis of the silver coinage contradicts the findings of De Vos, Zurich, and Spitkaman, as well as the findings of Robert Donseal. 77. Donseal was surprised to find in the Oman Museum unrecorded coins, notably denarius coins of Trajan, that he claimed were intrusive. The original Oman Museum records of the Qumran coin hoards and the museum bags where the coins were kept do not support the hypothesis that the 2nd and 3rd century Roman coins are intrusive in relation to the Tyrian silver. Furthermore, the new countermark, 78, that went unrecorded is apparently from 52/53 CE, and the Greek letters in it do not support a date of 9/8 BCE, as the other countermarks. This means archaeologically and numismatically that at least one, but probably two minimum, of the three hoards post-date De Vos' suggestion of a burial date after 9/8 BCE. The unusual and intensive dilinkage of the Qumran silver hoards suggests that the three hoards were buried at the same time, and this would mean at the earliest in 52/53 CE. According to Longquist, a highly unusual type of coin hoard found at Ain Hanaziv in the Jordan Valley in early 1960 and reported in the Israel Numismatic Bulletin, 79, supports his theory of a 3rd century CE date for the three silver coin hoards from Qumran. This Ain Hanaziv coin hoard spanned hundreds of years, starting from the Seleucid era and ended with the same kind of coins from the reign of Septimius Severus in 210. Therefore, according to Longquist, claiming an earlier date for the silver hoards is untenable and contradicts first complete recording of the Qumran silver hoards made by him in 2007, which includes the first photographic evidence of the coin hoards, and the regional coin evidence from other hoards. It has already been shown that De Vos' dating system of Qumran and the silver coin hoards was based on what is generally known as a circular argument. The end of the first major settlement period was dated after the assumed date of hiding of the coin hoards, which in turn dated the coin hoards themselves. Nevertheless, Longquist's theories have been criticized by Fry and Price. 73. They point to the fact that the identity of the silver coins from Qumran held at the Amman Museum in Jordan is not certain. Population at Qumran. Qumran caves. One important issue for the understanding of the site of Qumran is arealistic calculation of its population. Using estimates based on the size of the cemetery and average lifespan, De Vos calculated that inhabitants would not have numbered many more than 200 members. 80. He noted that here is a manifest disproportion between the number of tombs and the number of inhabitants for whom there was room in the buildings. 81. This led him to speculate whether the caves were used as lodgings for his estimated 200 inhabitants. J.T. Millick some years earlier provided an estimate of between 150 and 200 as the average population, working on the comparison with the population of the monastery of Marchsaba, which numbered 150 monks in the 9th century, and from Josephus' figure of 3,000 essence calculating that at least 5% live it a strict monastic life. 82. E.M. Laperousas went as high as 1,428 inhabitants. 83. Magen Groshi, analyzing the size of L77, which he calls an assembly hall, estimated that about 122. 150 people could sit there, to which he added a few dozen candidates to the population, yielding over 170 people. 84. From 1983 to 1987, Joseph Patridge carried out archaeological surveys around Qumran and its caves. He concluded that the caves were stores and hiding places. He found no traces of permanent tent dwellings, and that any dwelling quarters should be sought inside Thule of Herbert Qumran, mainly on the upper floor. Patridge estimated that the population was only 50-70 people. 85. Magen Groshi and Hanan Eshel, revisiting the caves and the territory around Qumran in 1995-1996, later pointed out that Patridge's estimate was far too high for what Qumran could offer, reducing their number to 12-20. They turned back to caves, mainly artificial ones cut into the marl terrace, most of which have not survived, and tents, pointing to pottery and nails found along one of the paths near Qumran, and staying with 150-200 inhabitants. 86. While waiting for the publication of Groshi and Eshel's results, Patridge, anticipating them, doubted the possibility that there were once significantly more habitable caves cut into the marl, pointing to the lack of paths and suitable terrain. He went on to discount the significance of the nails for tent dwelling without further substantial evidence, and returned to a figure of a few tens of residents, 50 at most. 87. Jody Magis accepted Groshi's estimate, adding this number accords better than lower estimates with the presence of over 1,000 dining dishes in the pantry. L86. 88. Working from ratios of populations in other ancient settlements, which R. Hirschfeld estimated the population of Qumran thus: if we use the lower value of 15 people per dunum, 1,000 square meters, it emerges that in the Hasmonean period only about 20 people occupied the site of Qumran. 89. Yitzhak Magen and Yuval Pilage entered the discussion, commenting on how one could feed such large numbers of community members were we to accept the claim that the sect lived at Qumran for about 170 years. We would expect to find hundreds of cooking and baking ovens as well as thousands of cooking pots. 90. The population question is a complex issue, as can be seen by the above considerations. Much hinges on interpretation of two locations at Qumran, the refectory and the pantry. The search for extramural dwelling quarters has failed to provide substantial evidence. Discounting Laperousas' apparently excessively high estimate, a number of proposals put the population in and around Qumran at between 20 and 200 people. Qumran Essene hypothesis. Dead Sea Scroll, part of Isaiah Scroll, ISA 57 hours 17 minutes 59:9. 1 Chizab. Were not many serious challenges to Dvorz's interpretation of the site of Qumran as a settlement of Essence from the time it was introduced. While the archaeologist E.M. Laperousas, 91, had some quite divergent views, members of Dvorz's team followed approximately the same narrative, with minor deviations, members including J.T. Millick and F.M. Cross. Dvorz's initial co-director, G. Lancaster Harding, wrote an article in 1955-92, where he presented Qumran as a building in which John the Baptist, and probably Christ, studied. Herbert Qumran. Others outside DeVos' team proposed other interpretations. People such as Henrido Medico, 93, Solomon Zieglin, 94, and G.R. Driver, 95, but their analyses received little lasting attention. More recently, Lawrence H. Schiffman has defended the thesis that the Qumran documents indicate a Sadducean sectarian orientation, but while scholars commonly grant that the term essence